Renowned as the gateway to China, a shipping haven and an economic powerhouse, Hong Kong is the epitome of business and commercial success. But success has come at a price. Each day, over 2 million tons of sewage are generated by homes and factories across the territory. Sewage has traditionally been discharged into surrounding Hong Kong's waters, untreated. Main pollutants have included the cast-offs of industries such as electroplating, printed board circuits, metal finishing and fabric dyeing. With the dispersion of uncontrolled organics into the harbour, natural oxygen levels in receiving waters have been depleted, creating a septic environment that has detrimentally affected marine life. Even seawater, commonly used as flushing water, turned black. Recognizing the deterioration to quality of life and the potential health implications, the Hong Kong government decided to take decisive action. In 1981, it launched the Sewage Strategy Study with the aim of determining water quality objectives to protect the coastal waters of Hong Kong and developing a long-term strategy for sewage collection, treatment and disposal. The main report of the study, which was completed in 1989, recommended for 1. Improvements to Hong Kong's present system of sewage collection and treatment. 2. Legislation to control the pollution at source, especially for industrial waste. 3. And construction of an improved, advanced collection and treatment system to serve the central harbour area. As part of the overall recommended strategy, the study proposed the implementation of a mega project called the Strategic Sewage Disposal Scheme, known today as the Harbour Area Treatment Scheme, or HATS, as a major initiative to treat sewage and improve the water quality around Victoria Harbour. With its establishment in 1989, the Drainage Services Department assumes responsibility for the implementation of HATS. The implementation of HATS was divided in 2 stages. Stage 1 consists of a network of deep underground tunnels to collect sewage from Kowloon and the northeastern part of Hong Kong and transports it to Stonecutters Island Sewage Treatment Works for centralized treatment and dispersion. At this plant, the treated effluent would be discharged via a submarine outfall to the western reach of the harbour. Before any construction work began on Stage 1 of HATS, a program of extensive water quality monitoring and hydraulic modelling was carried out. This primarily comprised mathematical and large-scale physical modelling, in which the future infilling of the harbour was modelled and the effect on water quality assessed. Pilot trials too were conducted to determine the most effective chemical sewage treatment. With the completion of the engineering study in place, eventual construction work commenced in 1994. To complete Stage 1, 15 works contracts were awarded to specialists spanning many disciplines of engineering. It took over 7 years to construct, at an investment of over 8.2 billion Hong Kong dollars. The construction of Stage 1 comprised 4 major components, each of which were progressed in parallel and included the excavation of the network of deep underground tunnels, the upgrading of 7 existing preliminary treatment works around Victoria Harbour, the construction of the Stonecutters Island Sewage Treatment Works, and the development of a 1.7 kilometre long tunnel outfall and diffuser pipeline located to the southwest of Stonecutters Island. The tunnels are designed to reach their destination within the shortest possible distance, with such depth necessary to avoid conflict with existing building foundations, underground utilities, and Hong Kong's MTR system. Using deep tunnel drilling, up to 150 meters below ground surface, equivalent to the depth of a 50-story building. The construction encompassed the excavation of tunnels that total an extraordinary 23.6 kilometers in length, representing the deepest sewage tunnels in the world. The construction work was extremely challenging, given the great skill and care necessary to navigate difficult geographical areas of poor ground and deep fault zones, with the risk heightened in the case of HATS, given that the water pressure itself was a major issue in tunneling work under the sea. The tunnels today transfer 1.3 million cubic meters of sewage daily from Kowloon and the northeastern part of Hong Kong Island to Stonecutters Island for treatment and dispersion. In order to prevent possible blockages of the deep transfer tunnels, sewage collected from the catchments of Cheung Kwan O, Kwun Tong, To Kwa Wan, Northwest Kowloon, Kwai Chung, Chai Wan, and Shoki Wan is first directed to the preliminary treatment works located along the harbour front, where grit and large solids are removed. A high standard of performance of these preliminary treatment works in removing grit and large solids is therefore required. Construction work on HATS got underway with the upgrading of the preliminary treatment works, which were old, outdated and required substantial revamping. New replacement structures were designed and resurrected. Finer screens, better grit removal facilities and odor control equipment were installed. Equally impressive is the treatment works at the heart of HATS. A major sewage plant at Stonecutters Island was put into operation in May 1997. Recognized as the largest and one of the most efficient chemically enhanced primary treatment facility in the world, the Stonecutters Island Sewage Treatment Works employs the latest equipment and technology available. Once the sewage arrives at the plant, it is lifted to the sedimentation tanks by pumps housed in the main pumping station, which is one of the world's largest underground sewage pumping stations. The sewage then undergoes a process of enhanced primary sedimentation involving the application of a chemical treatment. The objective during this stage is to enhance the removal of suspended solids and biological oxygen demand in the sedimentation by using a chemical ferric chloride and a polymer to quicken the sedimentation process. Given the large flow of throughput, double sedimentation tanks have been installed at the plant to reduce the space required for the sedimentation process. In total, the sewage remains in the sedimentation tanks for about 1.5 hours, allowing the suspended matter to settle. These solids, called sludge, are then removed and pumped to the holding tanks at the sludge dewatering facilities. Dewatering is carried out by 8 high-speed centrifuges, which reduce the water content of the sludge to make it suitable for landfill. The dewatered sludge cake is moved by a conveyor system to the sludge cake silos before discharge to the containers for disposal. At present, over 600 tons a day are ferried to the landfills. The performance of the entire system and the operations of the plant are closely monitored from a central control room located in the main pumping station through a sophisticated control and data acquisition system. Occupying just 10 hectares of reclaimed land to treat sewage from a population of 3.5 million, the entire Stonecutters Island plant is without doubt one of the largest and most compact treatment works in the world. For treated flow that is not shipped to landfills, it is discharged into the deep ocean through a long submarine outfall, a tunnel 1.7 kilometers in length and 5 meters in diameter, situated to the southwest of Stonecutters Island. Only biodegradable, harmless effluent is discharged into the sea. The outfall itself comprises twin risers with diffusing pipelines that total 1.2 kilometers, designed to maximize dilution and dispersion to the more exposed areas of the harbor. Each leg of the pipeline tapers from a diameter of 3.25 meters to 1.5 meter, as the reducing quantity of flow is discharged to the surrounding waters through vertical diffuser pipes. With the successful completion and commissioning of Stage 1 of HATS in December 2001, the Stonecutters Island Sewage Treatment Works is currently removing 80% of suspended solids and 70% of biochemical oxygen demand from the sewage. Today, over 70% of the waste that used to be discharged directly into Victoria Harbour is now diverted to Stonecutters Island for treatment and disposal. This is equivalent to 600 tons of sludge each day that had previously polluted Hong Kong waters. However, the Hong Kong government is not complacent, and it is undertaking a series of trials and studies to decide the best way forward for the remaining stages. Needless to say, Hong Kong's harbour area treatment scheme is a project that does not have many equals in the world. An engineering marvel, HATS is a showpiece for Hong Kong, and it will serve its community for many years to come.